help in children? We don't know. But it's very interesting. He's moving. I would say the text, we can speculate a lot, but the text actually does not say anything about their migration. And that's an important point for me. Maybe is the text saying that Abraham doesn't have a strong enough purpose for his migration? So far, we don't have a strong enough purpose for his migration? Possible. Now, chapter 11, let's think a little bit about Abraham's neighbors. So these guys, how are his neighbors like? In chapter 11, now the whole world had one language, chapter 11, verse 1, and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make name for ourselves, otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." What was the purpose? Looks like there is a purpose there. It's anti-migration in this case. Isn't it? They want to settle down, the very favorite term for many Indians. Isn't it? Because, well, when you have exams, your parents tell you, how do you settle down if you watch TV like this? IPL switch. I'm watching IPL and then dad comes and say, how do you settle down if you watch IPL like this? You go out. How do you settle down if you go with your friends like this? So for Telugus especially, the whole thing revolves around settling down, isn't it? So once you finish your engineering, the settlement looks like you need a job. Once you have a job, then you will settle down for your parents and for yourself. Once you have a job, what does settling down look like? Going to the US, isn't it? Once you come to the US, what does settle down look like? You need to get married. Once you get married, then you are settling down. Then you are married, but then you are not having kids, and then that becomes the talk of the town in Hyderabad. Because you haven't settled down. If you want to settle down, you need to have kids. So the whole story of Telugus revolve around settling down. Looks like actually Tower of Babel was in Hyderabad before. They want to settle down. But here are some things that are interesting. There is no fluff in the Bible. Do you agree with that? There is no trash in the Bible. Bible does not use the words like just like that. It is very economical, like every word has a meaning in that. So when it uses certain words, it's very interesting. The people were moving what word in chapter 11, verse 2? Eastward. Why would the Bible say eastward? They were driven away, Adam and Eve, they were driven away from the Garden of Eden. From which side? East side. So they were moving east side, which means what? They are moving further and further and further and further away from God, and maybe actually settling down is related to that. And if you don't believe me, the entrance to the tabernacle when they were in the wilderness was which side? East side. Solomon built a temple, and the entrance to the temple is on which side? East side. Maybe is that what Jesus is saying in the prodigal son story, that the father actually was standing at the door? God is always a welcoming God. He banished Adam from his presence, but he was not, he always was wanting Adam to come back. But instead of coming back to God from the east side, they're moving further and further and further towards east side, moving away from the presence of God. Another word. They want to settle down, but do you see when God created Adam and Eve, what did God tell them? Fill the earth. For filling the earth, you need to spread. Immigration actually is there in Genesis chapter 1. Fill the earth. But then here, at Tower of Babel, what are they saying here? We don't want to fill the earth. We want to settle down. It's completely against what God has commissioned human beings. So the place, the Tower of Babel, it's not just hey, so these are engineering guys, they really want to show off their engineering. And no. It is actually Yad Ramah, in other words, which means it's a raising a fist against God and saying that we can live without you. We are okay, we don't need you. But if we need you, we will call you. We can even reach you. We can manipulate you. So the towers in the ancient world, by the way, they're not like Qutub Minars in Delhi. That's how we think, right? Qutub Minars, oh, they're very tall. Yes. But these are the places where you manipulate gods and goddesses to make them do your will. I want more camels, then manipulate God in the tower. These are called ziggurats. So the places of manipulation. Well, I worked as a priest in a Hindu temple. People used to come, and then before they write the exams, they gave the hall tickets. They gave their pens and pads, and always asked me to pray for those things, because even though this fellow did not study anything for the exam, because this pen is anointed, the moment he touches that, automatically it goes. And then he says that if that happens in the exam, then I will rotate around the temple for 108 times. Well, I did that. That's why I know the precise number. Or actually, I offer like 50 coconuts. This is manipulation. Rather than living for the purpose that God has given, you are creating for your purpose and asking God, hey, I have a purpose, by the way. I have created a purpose for myself. I want to invite you, come and join my story. God is the king of the history. He is the king of the story, and he is asking people to come and join the story. But at Tower of Babel, what's happening is they are saying, we are going to make the story, and we will invite you. You can come and join our story. What a completely different picture it is. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah? Now, in this case, these are our friend Abram's neighbors. That's the world that he lived in. When everybody was like creating their own story, they want to make their name great and so forth. That was the kind of story. But then here, Abram was also moving, looks like, without a strong purpose. He started migration, interestingly. When everybody wanted to settle down, he was kind of moving away, which is very interesting there. But then, the scripture does not give us any purpose here. We can speculate from archaeology and all the stuff, but then the reason for scripture silence, I tend to think that there's not a strong story, there is not a strong purpose for Abram's moving. I came to Denver in 2007. You really want to know why? I mean, you definitely don't want to know, but I need to tell because I'm preaching. So when I came to Denver, my reason for coming to Denver was this. My colleagues in Chennai, they used to tell the buses in Denver are really good. The city buses in Denver are really good. Chennai buses are actually ugly. And then I wanted to see snow. For that, actually, I left my parents and everybody and I moved to Denver. Is that a strong enough reason? Maybe at that time for me, it was a strong enough reason. But Abram was actually moving away. Then Yahweh, he initiated his speech with Abram. And then he's saying, Abram, get up and go. Go from your land, from your people, your father's household to the land. Can you do this thing very radical for me? In the ancient days, can you do this thing very radical for me? In the ancient days, it's not an easy thing to do. Because when you come to Denver without knowing anyone, you have Denver Telugu Fellowship. But Abram did not have Ur Akkadian Fellowship. Right? There was nobody to receive him. Wherever he went, it was a danger. He had a beautiful wife. People can kill him and take his wife. They can take away all his camels and everything. It's not an easy thing. It's a very dangerous thing. So it looks like ISIS was also there because he was actually going through that region, by the way. So that's the region. He had to go through the region of ISIS. It's not really a good thing. For Abram to follow this command, the first command I'm saying, it is something very radical. Very, very radical. But then God is saying, do you want to trust your own security or do you want to trust in my promise? That's the question. What does security look like for you? At this point, when AI is taking over, there's a lot of insecurity among our software people. And that's why I switched my field. No, I'm just kidding. So there's a lot of insecurity. When the new administration came, what happens to my H-1B visa? If I go out of the country for summer vacation to India, will I be able to come back or not? Isn't that actually an insecurity, right? You can relate with that, right? Or so, does the new administration take away completely H-1B? Is that also a question, right? Now, in this kind of setting, Abram was also facing this difficulty. He is a migrant or he's an immigrant. And then God is saying, where does your security lie, Abram? I want you to do something radical. Can you really take me as your security? Can you take my promise, my word as your security? It's a powerful thing. In our culture, for example, Telugu culture, we don't usually write, right? We say the words. Take my word, we say. మాటిస్తున్నాను ఒకసారి చెప్తే 100 సార్లు చెప్పినట్టు. Because words carry weight. Of course, we break them all the time. Telugu people are very good at that. But the point is actually God is saying, I am giving the word. Are you willing to trust my word? It's a very oral culture. People speak, people make promises actually through speech. So God is saying, are you willing to take my word? Are you willing to trust my word? If you do that, if you go, Abram, here is the purpose. I will make you into a great nation. Oh, the word great we have seen in the previous chapter, didn't we? There, what was the difference there? That greatness and here, this greatness, what do you see? Do you see any difference there? Well, the same word, but they want to make their name great there. And here, God is saying, I will make your name great. Greatness, this is the first lesson that God is giving Abram, or many, second lesson probably. God is telling that greatness is a gift from God. Greatness is not actually attained through our efforts, but greatness is gift from God. But once again, I ask this question. This word appears multiple times, bless. What does the word mean? Especially in the US, God bless the football, right? What does blessing mean really? Like when we say God bless football, are we saying that this foot-long ball will become 2 foot long or 2 feet long? What do we mean by blessing there? Many times, blessing, if you ask our Hindu friend, the Hindu friend will tell us blessing basically means be able to build a big house or settle down is a blessing for them, right? Our Hindu friends actually say settling down is a blessing for them. But then Abram was already rich by this time. We see, if you move a little bit further, he says that he has like 50 camels or like, these many. He's very rich. Is God saying, Abram, if you go from your father's household, instead of 50 camels, I'm going to give you 150? Is that what he's saying? No. Once again, we have to see the word bless. What does it mean in the book of Genesis? Here is how I define it. The word bless basically means being in alignment or coming to the alignment of the Creator's purpose. God created everything and He blessed it in a sense that He is making it functional. Means everything is functioning according to His design in chapter 1. To explain this, let me use this example. I used it multiple times. Brother Vijay, so your wife's name is Priti. Where is she? Oh, you are there. Are you ready? So Brother Vijay wanted to gift Sister Preeti a beautiful gift. He bought, well, our Telugu guys, what are we super attracted to? When Thanksgiving comes, what do we search? Clothes. Gold. Oh, Thanksgiving time. What deals? Electronic deals. Thank you. I thought the culture is changing. It didn't change. So Brother Vijay wanted to gift a latest generation iPad to her. So he bought and gave to Sister Preeti. So Sister Preeti took it. Wow, such a beautiful gift. And then she took it straight to the kitchen, took some onions and chopped on it. And then some cilantro and chopped some cilantro on that one. And then some pepper chopped on that one. And a little bit of chicken. Put everything there. After she is done, she take that very nicely and then put it in the dishwasher. I want to ask this question. Is chopping onions bad? That's what Brother Vijay asked her.